guys, Constantine104 here, and it is my birthday! And also the Farcry Primal giveaway. Oh, before we begin, how epic is this shirt? Can you guys see? Can you guys see? Damn camera focus. It's a unicorn. Sitting on a pillow. Balloon. It is an awesome unicorn. You should go check it out. I will link the store like somewhere. I promise I will. It's MissMoan. She is a South African girl who has an online store. She makes all these epic sort of things. She has a bunch of stuff which she makes by hand, a bunch of stuff which she makes herself, and it really is amazing. And then another huge thank you I want to give Andries Fourie. Without you, none of this video and awesomeness would be possible, so thank you. I'm going to try and keep my answers like short and to the point, but this is me, so it could be a 2-hour-long video. Okay, so technical difficulty over. So while it may seem like a good idea to shoot a video in a sea of balloons, it's really not. Why did you start making videos? Is it a passion for gaming or a passion for creating content for others? Neither. I wanted to create a community. I wanted people like me who sort of didn't know what they wanted to do with their life, or they did, but it wasn't really like that clear, you want to be a doctor or you want to be a lawyer sort of like path. I want to create a community where that's okay. You don't have to either look like a troll who lives in your mom's basement or have these giant triple D low cut shirts with these giant braids to be a gamer girl. You don't have to be something that you're not. You can suck, you can not be able to communicate properly, you can be totally crazy and be yourself. What are the top 3 most embarrassing public moments? Those moments that just confirm my gamers should stay inside and not go outdoors. Oh, I hate you. Okay. This is gonna be fun. Number 1. As a kid, me and my friend went to go watch a movie with my parents. At that stage, mainland shopping centre in South Africa had an IMAX. And how it worked is there was the IMAX here, and then sort of walking out of the IMAX, it was tiles, but it was downhill. And my friend was walking in front of me and she was teasing me, and I had watched a kung fu type movie the evening before, and in Ariel's mind, really cool would be to run after and do this sort of like running kick leap, and I would look like a legend. There was a bunch of cute guys standing there. I'd be like the coolest girl in the world and everybody would want me. What happened is my friend walked, I ran, I kicked, and as I kicked I went straight down, blah, on my face in front of everybody, who laughed for days while I very undignified had to try and get up and explain to my parents what had happened. 2 would be I went to a Westlife concert. I was in the front row. It was late, it was amazing. Westlife came on, or was going to come onto stage for one of their cues for their new song. Everybody was screaming, the crowd was going, whoa! I decided that I was going to step it up a notch and I was actually going to scream out their names. I scream out, Shane, Mark, and as I go Kian, my voice breaks. Now, as you guys know, I speak very loudly. When I scream, it is even louder, so I sort of went, Kian! And I sounded like a dying pelican. I actually ended up on the internet and on their websites and everywhere because they heard me. Oh, let me just say, when I decided to scream, of course, was the super like quiet moment of the crowd. You know, like when something were to happen, like you were to say something rude or embarrassing in my case. So there was this huge amount of like concert front row golden circle noise. And when I screamed out their name, it was just like silence. And anyway, them backstage heard me clear as daylight and laughed so much that one of them actually fell over a chair and they missed their cue and they couldn't control themselves to come back on to sing. Number 3 would be my self-defense fail. My dad was teaching me and a friend some self-defense tactics. So if somebody grabs your wrist, how do you get out of it? Wada. And a few days later I was talking to another friend and explaining this to her. And I explained and she was like, no, she doesn't get it, she doesn't get it. So I'm like, no, I will demo. Grab my wrists. And she sort of grabbed my wrist. And what you're supposed to do is pull back and cross, because then their hands slip off. What happened is she grabbed, I pulled back, crossed, and punched myself square in the face. So hard that I was thrown back like a meter and landed on the floor, crying with blood coming out. And as that happened, my dad pulled up to fetch me and was like, what the hell's going on? My daughter's sitting there, there's blood coming out, my friend is lying on the ground laughing. I try and explain to him through the tears, and yes, everybody just laughed. So, hope you enjoyed 3 embarrassing stories. Oh, you can never take me anywhere. Don't take me out, people. And the worst is, that was probably not even the top 3. That's just 3 that I remember right now. What's your highest level in Fallout 4? Funny enough, I actually have no idea what level I am in Fallout 4. It's one of the games that I do own. I own the season pass. It was one of the ones I initially wanted to play on my channel, but I was playing on my old original gaming rig, and how it worked was you had to commit. So you could look forward, then you could run forward and shoot forward, but if you decided to go left or right, you had to give it like 20 minutes of lag and render before you eventually faced right. And regardless, I got my new graphics card, or my then like secondhand new graphics card, and all I did for like a good 10 minutes in game while my boyfriend stood and laughed at me was run, jump left, run, jump right, turn around in a circle, run, jump back, because I was just like, yay, I can turn all the ways. If you're driving at the speed of light and you turn your headlights on, what happens? The police officers see you and they give you a fucking fine. Most uneducated, lame answer ever. Platform. There's, I have a PS1 still, a PS2, a PS3, a PS4 I don't have, but Larry has, that I play on. I have an Xbox 360, I have games on my Mac, I have games on my PC. You know what? Whatever floats your boat. So you know what? Every single like gaming system has its pros, has its cons. I'm a gamer, I'm not an elitist. Whatever's available, whatever I have the game on, that's what I'll be playing. If you were sent back in time to the Stone Age and saw a resemblance of a person you dislike in modern times, and anything you do to that person would affect the future generations of a modern person, what would you do? You see, this is one of those time conundrums, right? Where if I go back in time and I do something in the past to the person, then future me would never have known the person to dislike the person. And you know what, in all fairness, every person I've ever disliked or had issue with, it was there for a reason. It either made me a better person, a stronger person, it gave me good laughs to look back on now. But yeah, I'd probably punch them in the face. So hard that future generations could feel it. Would you ever consider picking up a group of gangster ducklings if they were just strolling looking for a ride to their next pond where their crib's at? No. Gangster ducklings must die. What game introduced you to this wonderful way of life? My growing up games, Zork, King's Quest, and Leisure Shoot Larry / Space Quest. Those were definitely like my first introduction to gaming, and then the game that really got me like hooked, like there was no way I was ever gonna like not game anymore. It's actually 2 separate games. StarCraft just blew my mind, and then Guild Wars 1 was just it for me. After that, there was no way I would ever turn back. What is the most epic game? Oh, that doesn't even stand there. Nowhere does it say epic. Why? Okay, what is the best game you have ever played, and what would you change to make it better and even more awesome, and why? Okay, the best game that I have ever played, there are actually 2 games. I don't know why I can never just answer you guys' question. Anyway, my all-time favorite, Final Fantasy X. The one with Yuna and Tidus and Lulu and all of them. It was just mind-blowing and nothing must change. That game was perfect. It is amazing. It just blew my mind. And then the other one was the Hitman franchise. And please make a multiplayer Hitman. But when I say multiplayer, I mean multiplayer like Payday 2, where you can choose like 3 other friends or 4 other friends, and you 4 can go in and do missions and heists and everything together. Not this open world like bullshit. What type of game developer do you support most? AAA or small breakout indie developers, and why? I don't care at all. It's not even a consideration for me. I merely support games that I enjoy. If I think it's cool, it gets added. If I don't, it gets tossed. And it just so happens that a lot of the games that interest me are more of the like alternative or indie sort of games. But it's not like I'm a big like, I will support only indie developers, this is what I'll play. No. I'm very much of, if it appeals to me, I'll play it. If it doesn't, it ain't gonna happen no matter what. How the hell do magnets work? The best way to like find out how magnets work is go buy a bunch of them and then stick them on your steel computer case and see what happens. If you had to create a setting for Far Cry, where and when would it be? When games go the historical route, like Assassin's Creed historical, so you'll go into olden time France or olden time Italy. So maybe something like old Europe would be an interesting twist. And now 110 people are going to tell me that there was one set in olden day Europe that I didn't know about, and I will seem like a complete idiot, but what else is new? This van pulls up and the unicorn inside says, no time to explain, get in the van. Do you get in, and why? Well, I have a unicorn here. There's a unicorn back there that you guys don't see. So, do you know what? Everything happens for a reason, but children never get into the van. I feel like this is my version of, if the guy tells you he has candy inside his van, do you get in? Trick me with unicorns. I'll probably get in. If you transformed into a unicorn with a dash of llama and a pinch of Deadpool, what would you do? Oh, this is the dream, isn't it? I thought that's what I was. I was unicorn with a dash of llama and a touch of Deadpool. And anyway, this is Deadpool we're talking about, and a unicorn has a horn, so I'll let you guys imagine what I'll be running around and doing. Oh yeah. Would you rather fight 1 horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? Okay, fucking neither. I don't like horses and I don't like birds, ducks, anything in that, so Ariel out. 1 horse-sized duck has got to be easier than 100 duck-sized horses by freaking far, because the horses is just going to be like a plague and they're going to trip you, and when you're down, you're dead. They'll eat you alive. So the duck it is. If you were a flying horse and you had the skills of Batman, what were you going to do for one day? Wow, I'm noticing a distinct pattern in questions. Okay, I would probably be that unicorn that sits in the van and goes, no time to explain, get inside. I don't know how many times, probably never, I've ever thought to myself, shit, if only there was like a Batman type flying horse to save the day. I'd probably poop on someone's head. Yes. Poop on someone's head that I didn't like. That person from the past who I could travel back and change their ancestors, I would be the Batman pooping flying horse on their head instead of punching them in the face. Much better answer. That's what I'm giving. Okay. Do you believe in aliens? No, I do not. I am very, very skeptical when it comes to stuff, but yet I'm that person. I would love to believe. Like, I want to believe in aliens and ghosts and supernatural things, and I want it to be real and I want to experience it, but I don't. I'm very skeptical. Describe your ideal unicorn. Tall, dark, and handsome, anyone? Well, to describe your ideal unicorn, I think you have to start with the horn. You know, like length, width, hardness. Tall, dark and handsome it is. Larry the Unicorn. Most people that I know have had a crush on a fictional character even if they don't want to admit it. Who is / was yours? Okay, Sir Auron from Final Fantasy. Holy hell, that guy was so hot. Is it rude if a deaf person talks using sign language with his mouth full? I don't know if any of you guys watched Dinosaurs. Was it called Dinosaurs? I'm sure it was called Dinosaurs when you were a kid. I'll put a picture so you guys know what I'm talking about. And there's a scene where the one dinosaur's eating and the other one looks at him and goes, I can see your food and your food can see me. That's where I have a problem. So long as I don't see their food and their food doesn't see me, we have no problem with each other. This is the question that everybody on the internet will hate me forever for. If Pokemon were real, which 6 Pokemon would you have on your team and would you nickname them? Okay, now I used to collect the Pokemon Tazos as a kid and then never again. I have very, very little knowledge of Pokemon, very little memory of Pokemon. I am going to definitely jump on Pokemon Go when it comes out. So I will probably sometime in the next month or so be getting or trying to get back into the whole Pokemon sort of thing, but I can definitely not name 6 Pokemon. There's no way. I'm sorry. Yes, it is what it is. What Lord of the Rings character would you rather be and why? Gollum. Gollum all the fucking way. Definitely Gollum. I love Gollum. He's the coolest character in the whole thing for me. I love his voice. I love how creepy he is. I love his obsession with the ring. It's just Gollum all the way. Now, who is Jon Snow's mother? I don't know. I don't care. I don't watch Game of Thrones. It hides away. Is it safe? Is it safe yet? Okay. I have tried at least 10 times to watch Game of Thrones. I've fallen asleep every single time and then it's just... So yeah, no idea. Do you own a unicorn? And if so, what is he/her name? Well, the closest thing that I own to a real life unicorn is my Basset. Her name is Duchess and she is forever mommy's little unicorn. PC Master Race or a console peasant? Okay, I feel I already answered that question. I'm a everywhere Ariel. Do you like cheese? Well, I'm not a heathen, am I? Of course I love cheese. Even people with lactose intolerance secretly just love cheese. Vegans secretly miss and love cheese, I'm sure. It's just like cheese is for all. You are locked in a room. In the middle of the room is a table for following items. A piece of cheese, a piece of string, a foam hand, one of those that has the pointy, is that? I don't know, one of those. And a feather. Outside of the room is a guard. Using the items, how do you escape? Okay, so you of course tie the piece of cheese to the string and you put the string under the door. The guard is going to smell the cheese. It's going to be really smelly cheese. He's going to look, he's going to be like, yay, cheese! We've already assessed everybody freaking loves cheese. He'll try and grab the cheese, you pull back, he'll be like, shit, she has the cheese. He'll of course open the door. When he's opening the door, you're going to be hiding behind the wall with a feather because he's going to come and sort of bend to grab the cheese. You're going to put the feather under his nose, which of course is going to make the guy sneeze. He's going to sneeze, he's going to hit his head against the floor. You're going to take the keys. You are then going to take the pointy hat thing and you are going to put it over your head as sort of a disguise and wham, you have the keys and you're good to go. And I will so never ever escape from jail. Gaming has a unique way of helping everyone. For some it is an escape from a reality that is abusive or demoralizing. What does gaming do for you? Gaming gave me a group of friends which I have always had. I mean, I wasn't one of those people who made friends and lost friends. I've had my friends for years and years and years. We have always stayed together through thick and thin. And it has given me a space to be myself and have something in common with my friends. I mean, I am a dancer. I'm a professional dancer. I studied acting. It's a world that is very, very, very detached and far from the gaming community and the gaming world. So I felt very secluded and sort of like shut aside and not necessarily loved. And gaming gave me that place where every evening I could go and I could be with my friends and I could talk to them online, and I fit in and I loved it, and it was always just this feel-good thing that you looked forward to and you got excited to. Excited for. What is it about gaming that you enjoy? Is it the escape from reality, the thrills of being in a different world of every game, or just because it's fun? Well, for me, as far as single player goes, it's about feeling things. I love being immersed in the game. I love feeling the emotions. I love feeling like all powerful or scared or clever. I love the fact that it can make me feel all these emotions. As far as multiplayer goes, I love just having fun with my friends. I love the fact that it brings us together, it makes us fight, it makes us argue, it makes us laugh, and just all the memories that came along with it. If you had a budget to make any game, which genre of game would it be, and what would it be about, and what would the main character be like? I really love and gravitate towards very strong narrative story games, which are more of the dark sort of like feel. So I would say it would be a game that's very much like Life is Strange meets a sort of like Oxenfree sort of vibe, and I would like a character that is like me. I would have loved when I was a kid growing up, I mean today it's a lot more common, but when I was a kid I would have loved a lot more games of girls like me. Girls that are not necessarily like the prettiest girl or the cleverest girl or like these perfect like superhero figured women. Just the girl who was funny and confident in herself and sort of crazy and clumsy and forgetful. And yes, I would have loved a game that had me. Have you / would you ever try VR, and what type of games would you plan it? And are you more keen on Vive or on the Oculus or other? Okay, so I have tested pretty much all the virtual reality that's on the market. Okay, let me just rewind here. I have Google Cardboard. For those of you who do not know, it was an open source print out project that Google had. You can go online, you can print it, you can make it yourself, otherwise you can buy it. If you buy it, it costs about 150 Rand. The idea of it is it looks like an Oculus virtual reality sort of thing. You download the apps on your phone, it has the lenses, it houses it, you put your headphones in and you get this amazing experience. Here's my problem. Now people will probably hate me yet again for this, but the quality of my Google Cardboard for 150 Rand versus the quality I received from the Oculus was not that big a leap. Stone me, argue with me, I don't care, this is personal opinion. I am very underwhelmed. How much time do you put into making a video on average? Well, that really depends. For my personal Let's Plays, I try and keep the editing down to a minimum. I want my Let's Plays to be more of like me talking to you guys and my comments on it and narrative and the story and just personal feel. I feel like editing removes some of that. But when I make a game with somebody, like my Minecraft or the Forest or all of that, a lot more time and effort goes into it because there's a lot more editing that happens and a lot more cutting things out because we apparently can't play in moderation. We play for a 20-minute video and we end up with 5 hours of footage. A video, for instance, like this, after I'm done, I'll drag it into Final Cut, I'll cut out all my fails, all my ridiculousness, I'll put it together, I'll find a song, I'll render, I'll upload. So this will take probably a few hours versus my usual like 20 minutes. If light is so fast, how come it's never caught a ninja? How would you know? Maybe light is like super fast and super sneaky and you'll just never know. And I mean, you don't ever see a ninja, so how would you know if a ninja just disappeared? How would you conclude that a woman is a witch using only a scale and a duck? Explain your logic in detail. Oh my fuck, what kind of question is that? I've actually got it. Most women that I know don't want to step on scales. So what you'll do is you'll have your scale and you'll have your duck. If the woman first goes for the duck, then there's a chance that she's just a normal woman, because even I hate birds and I would so go for a duckling. If a woman climbs on the scale first, then she's definitely a witch, because what fucking woman does that? What's the most publicly embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let me come up with a fourth story here. Give me a moment. Okay, so a sort of embarrassing thing. This is not necessarily a funny embarrassing, but it was embarrassing nonetheless. I danced in England like 3 years ago. It was over my 21st birthday period. And, so roughly this time of year. And what happened was I went to Brighton, and where I was dancing was exactly the same stage that ABBA first performed Waterloo. So it was this amazing like hype backstage, and the theatre was amazing, and the area was amazing, and everything is so new and exciting and awesome, and of course nerves, jitters, all that jazz. And I was doing a sort of sexy like cabaret sort of Chicago feel piece. I had a chair, I had fishnets, I had everything. And one of the rules was nobody is allowed to take your props onto stage. You as the dancer take your own props onto stage, which wasn't an issue, but obviously the chair that I had been choreographed on and I practiced on was in South Africa, and here I used one of their chairs. Their chair was a steel wrought iron bench. It weighed a ton. So you had Ariel trying to walk super sexy, like dragging the steel chair like across the stage. Embarrassing in its own right. What is more embarrassing was me being Ariel tripped, because of course I did over nothing. So it was like sexy, 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 sexy. I dropped the chair, I fell over the chair, I tripped, stumbled, and then thought, well, the best way to play this would be to pretend it didn't happen. Turned around, grabbed it, and continued my sexy walk like it was awful. Which video out of every single YouTube one that you posted is your favorite? Also, why does that specific video stand out to you from all the rest? My first video. By far my first video, because it is what made all of this possible. Now, what most of you might not have known, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but my whole life I've wanted to be on YouTube. I've wanted to do YouTube videos. How other girls used to have crushes on celebrities or actors or singers, my first like girl crushes were on YouTubers. I have always wanted to be a part of this. I've always wanted to create for YouTube, be on YouTube, be a part of YouTube, and I've never had the self-courage to actually go and do it. So this year when my boyfriend turned around and went, well, you're going to do it, done, I'll set up your stuff for you, I don't care, but you will not make excuses, you will do it. And I was pretty much like forced into doing it. It was the best thing that ever happened. That first video, shooting it, doing it, it was scary, it was frightening, I was nervous, I thought it was the worst thing ever. I panicked when I put it up. I thought I made this huge mistake, and it was everything but. So my first video will always in my heart be my favorite video. If you could live the lives of any 3 video game characters, who would you pick and why? Okay, I would definitely love to be my character in Guild Wars 2. Her name is Aurea von Lichtstein. She is amazing. I would love to explore the world. I would love to be part of a world. Definitely her. I would love to be Yuna from Final Fantasy X and X2. I think she is powerful and she is amazing and she is so brave, and yet again I would just love to be a part of that world. And then I would love to be Alice from American McGee's Alice, because that is super, like, I think if you were there, scary and twisted and everything, and I would love to experience that and overcome that. If you were a unicorn, would you let Deadpool ride you? Not a damn. My horn and my back and my unicornness is reserved for much cooler superheroes like Iron Man. Do you like sausages. No, I do not. Read into that what you will. When playing a game, what is it that makes you decide if it is good or bad? Well, if it is Firewatch, it is bad. If it is any other game, it is good. I feel that there's a difference between frustration, that's good frustration, that's fun frustration, and then frustration that is not good and fun. The moment that I put in a game and I sort of like go, and it feels like work for me, then a game is a bad game. It is no longer fun, it is no longer giving me enjoyment, it is no longer entertaining me. And I have had the stupidest, like RPG maker games, horrible graphics, horrible everything, that were fun. I mean, you played it and you were excited, it was good, it was fun. It doesn't necessarily have to have story or anything like that. But a game must still live up to its name. It must be a game. If it is work, it is not a game. You failed. Can I just have a game? If you find any pleasure in answering my question, just let me know. No, sorry. What could be the most hilarious way to deal with a cyberbully? I actually saw an article. It's a group of girls, and what they do is whenever they get cyberbullied or cyber hit on or any of that jazz, they track down the person's Facebook. They see if the person has family members listed, like a mother or a wife or a girlfriend. They take screenshots, they share it, and they go, do you know what your son does in his spare time? Or do you know what your husband sends to women? And I actually quite like that. I do understand that social justice is bad in many ways and isn't necessarily like the way to go, but it is rather funny and rather amusing. Okay, my battery's dying, so we've got to go fast. Do you enjoy making videos? Yes, I do, hence the YouTube channel and all the videos. How has the gaming community treated you as a female gamer / YouTuber? Surprisingly very well, better than what I would have expected. I've been a part of the gaming community as a casual gamer, and in my opinion I was treated way worse there than I have in the sort of professional gaming community and when you deal with people who make content and put it online. Who is your YouTuber role model, and if you had a chance to play any game on any platform with him/her, which game would you pick? My YouTuber role model does not really play games, Bunny Mayer aka Graveyard Girl, and I would play pretty much anything with her because it would be good times, fun, laughter, and just us being absolutely crazy together. If you could be any character in a video game, who would it be and why? I have answered this question, so yes. Generic question. Blue cheese. Do you have any irrational fears, or can all your fears be validated by a good story which made them rational? Okay, well, I am scared of strange bodies of water. It probably originates when I was learning to swim. My dad told me that if I swam over the creepy crawly or the barracuda, it would turn into a black hole and it would suck me up and nobody would see me alive again. I don't really like birds because birds attacked me and pulled my hair out. So yes, all my irrational fears can be validated with a pretty good story. Ask me about it in another video. Okay. What are your top most badass moments through the years? Those moments when you thought, I've done this in a game, should be easy enough in real life. All of them have been fails. The most memorable in Switzerland in the hotel room. I couldn't get into my hotel room and I attempted to running shoulder down the door. Don't try it, it is terrible. Yeah, no. His favorite game of all time. Well, my favorite game franchise of all time is definitely the Final Fantasy franchise. Thank you all so much for leaving the questions and all the support and all the love on my channel. It has all been amazing, and yes, I don't even know what to say. Thank you. Your comments mean the world. These comments are the comments that you guys have been leaving on my channel, and all the love and all the support and all the help and all the everything. Thank you so much. I appreciate it more than you guys will ever know. This giveaway was for reaching 100 subs, which was a huge event. Since then we have reached over 150 subs. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.